Welcome to the first episode of Future Leaders Unplugged. I am your host, Archibald Coleman, and in this episode we will be discussing the Grenadian Revolution. Like many post-colonial societies, Grenada faced challenges in its quest for freedom. In 1951, Eric Gieri had led a social revolution against the dominant plantocracy, which aimed to break down barriers that persisted after emancipation from slavery. The Red Sky Uprising, as it was called, offered hope to Grenada's marginalized population, resisting authoritarianism imposed by the British colonial rule. Despite initial promise, Gieri's government became repressive after gaining state power. This repression led to the emergence of the New Jewel Movement, or NJM, a response to the authoritarian regime. After gaining independence on February 7, 1974, Grenada faced political turmoil. The country was divided between pro-Gieri and anti-Gieri factions. While the majority of working-class Grenadians still remained loyal to Gieri, intellectuals and those influenced by liberation movements challenged the notion of independence without social justice. Demonstrators echoed the chant, "Go, go, Gieri must go," expressing their discontent with the existing regime. Over the next 5 years, the NJM, previously an alliance of various groups, consolidated into one political party led by figures such as Maurice Bishop and Bernard Coillard. The NJM had Marxist-Leninist leanings, but was ideologically diverse, influenced by anti-colonial struggle, Black Power movements, Nkrumahism, and Caribbean left traditions. The NJM helped unite urban and rural working-class opposition to Gieri, but both Gieri's repression and the history of U.S. interference in the region's elections had foreclosed an electoral path to power. So on March 13, 1979, 5 years after Grenada's independence from Britain, the New Jewel Movement, NJM, mounted an armed attack. In a matter of hours, 46 men with scarcely 21 weapons seized power, and Grenadians across the political spectrum came out in support of the NJM, which took power as the People's Revolutionary Government. After the revolution, Grenada's political structure was influenced by Marxism-Leninism, but its economic program differed from that of a Marxist-Leninist state. Grenada adopted a mixed economy, with the state sector playing a dominant role and in charge of planning. This was to develop productive forces through industrialization, education, and the significant working class. The People's Revolutionary Government implemented ambitious plans to combat poverty, improve infrastructure, diversify the economy, and boost tourism. Notably, the income tax was abolished for 30% of low-wage workers, and citizens enjoyed a social wage with free medical and educational services, scholarships for in-demand majors, and literacy programs. The Housing Repair and Construction Program improved housing quality and access. Loans for house repairs did not incur interest, and prices of several items were controlled by the state. This social system was designed for the benefit of all Grenadians, and the GDP per capita nearly doubled from $450 in 1978 to $870 in 1983. Despite these achievements, Grenada's revolutionaries aimed for self-sufficiency but fell short. The manufacturing sector struggled, agriculture lacked diversification, and the tourism industry declined due to negative propaganda from the United States. One area where this wasn't the case, though, was the construction of Grenada's first proper international airport, the project that Maurice Bishop had described as a dream of Grenadians for generations. It today bears his name and is the basis of the country's tourism industry. The Reagan administration opposed Grenada's airport project because they thought it would be used by the American enemy, which was the Soviets. Despite this, there was no evidence of Soviet military plans. Nonetheless, Maurice Bishop and the PRG sought closer relations with communist countries, adding to international tensions. Domestic factors, including the international recession and economic struggles amongst Socialist Grenada's allies, impacted Grenada. By 1983, the PRG acknowledged that its revolution was starting to lose popularity, although this decline wasn't solely due to economic reasons. The NJM's initial military success in 1979 was attributed to its clandestine vanguard structure. However, this structure hindered its effectiveness as a government, leading to detachment from the population. Whilst this was happening, there was also some division between the two main leaders of the NJM, Maurice Bishop and Bernard Coard. Maurice Bishop, the charismatic prime minister, was an exceptional public speaker, yet his communication skills contributed to his alienation within the NJM. Bernard Coard, a skilled organizer, was seen as superior by some. Their divide became evident when Coard resigned from the Central Committee in 1982. By 1983, internal tensions had severely undermined the NJM. Coard and his supporters advocated for joint leadership, combining Coard's organizational abilities with Bishop's communication talents. Bishop initially accepted this, but later, after returning from a diplomatic trip, changed his decision, leading to further turmoil and his eventual house arrest. After being put under house arrest, Maurice Bishop was freed by crowds on October 19th, 1983, and he headed to a mass rally in Market Square. Bishop and the crowd confronted soldiers in Fort Rupert. This situation escalated as the largely unarmed population faced a united army. The soldiers called for reinforcements, dispersed the crowd, and executed Bishop and his allies. Shortly after, the American military invaded, marking the end of Grenada's revolutionary experiment, though many suggest this full story remains untold. That's all for today. I hope that you guys were able to learn about the Grenadian Revolution, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Remember, you can do more than you think. That's all for me. Signing off.